We're talking about this after one rotten game. I can give you Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 4, Spurs 3, Chelsea 4, Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3, Spurs 3, Liverpool 6, and it goes on and on and on and on. Yes, it was a rotten game, but football is still fantastically entertaining. Well, that's my view. Let's get the thoughts of Man City, Leeds and England defender Danny Mills. Morning, Danny.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Troy.
Morning, legend. I've just said to Jeff, you still look intimidating, even though you look highly intelligent at this moment in time.
Well, get really big. I'll take my glasses off. I can't see you. You all go a bit soft, folks.
What do you think then, though, Danny? I mean, is football becoming too robotic? Is it an overreaction to yesterday's rotten game?
I get the argument. It's not just about yesterday's game. I think when you look at, like you guys do, I watch a lot of football, not just the Premier League. Mm-hmm. You go down through the leagues, Championship, League One as well. And everybody trying to play out from the back. The goalkeeper kicking it to the centre half, 3 yards from his own goal line. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not convinced every single player understands why they're doing that. I'm not sure they can all play that way, if I'm honest. It's like, they're getting told to play that way. The aim of football is to score goals, simple as that. I played against the Arsenal team that were magnificent, Bergkamp, Henry, Vieira, Petit in there, Pires, etc. They used to try and have a shot within 3 or 4 passes. Mm-hmm. This wasn't hoofball. I'm not talking about get the ball, launch it up the pitch like Wimbledon used to as long as possible and then just have a fight on the edge of the box. Theirs was slick passing, move the ball quickly, break the lines quickly, and get shots away. Nobody seems to want to play in behind anymore. Mm-hmm. I think we just heard it there. Wingers, especially, turn back, come inside all the time. No one wants to run in behind, run without the ball. I think there are times where football is a little bit predictable. It is a little bit, let's just pass it around the back for no particular reason. I think because of the physicality has gone out of the game. Obviously, yes. You can't play how you used to. There is part of that you can't play maybe as direct, anymore. You can't have that physicality in midfield and up front. But I do think, there are lots of games that, you go to and watch and go, well, nothing really happened. And even when there are goals, mm-hmm. The goals are great. But if it wasn't for the goals are great, but the game wasn't great, if that makes sense. I don't know if Troy agrees with me.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. I think your point and what Bruno Fernandes said yesterday after the game was spot on. I've been banging this drum for a few months on here. You have to have physicality. You have to. The reason I enjoyed watching football in the 90s and the 2000s was guys like yourself were physical, and like you're talking about the Henrys and the Bergkamps, they had to deal with your physicality, then show their quality on top. At this moment in time, if you blow somebody like next to them, they go down rolling their ankle for the next 10 weeks, they're out. It's not the same feeling, and I think we're going down a route, Danny, that we're going to be like the NBA, where the score's just got to keep going up, but you're not going to be bothered to watch it because there's no defending in there. The art of defending is gone.
The good thing about that is it's the little breaks that you get where the acrobats come on and they're doing somersaults and doing everything else. That's sometimes the most entertaining bit until you get to the last 5 minutes.
Yes,
where it's end to end and someone's got to score. It almost becomes like sudden death.
Yes,
but it's interesting. I guess going through again watching a lot of football, there are longer throws. I think the Championship and the EFL has been more physical this mm-hmm. season. I think maybe some teams and some managers, coaches are starting to turn away and realising we cannot play like Pep Guardiola. And I don't know if that's because maybe Pep's lost a few games this season, mm-hmm. and Manchester City aren't what they were.
Or Forest.
Yeah, of course. People are now going, actually, maybe it is okay to be a little bit more direct. Maybe it is okay to cross the ball for mm-hmm. Troy Deeney to head the ball in the back of the net. There's nothing wrong with that, anymore. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, yesterday was a terrible game, wasn't it? It wasn't great. But often I think we see that these huge games that always get bigged up.
Mm-hmm.
About they're going to be the pinnacle game, the derby games. Nobody wants to lose them, and they can end up a little bit dull. But I think football is cyclical. Maybe we've had that 10 years of Pep football. Yeah. Maybe it'll start to change.
I mean, after yesterday's game, Danny, you look at City. fifth place, 52 points. Newcastle are 2 points behind them, 2 games in hand. Villa are a point behind them. Are they going to miss out on the Champions League?
I think there's a big chance. When you look at their performance yesterday, obviously Newcastle can leapfrog them tonight. They've then got another game in hand as well. They've got nothing to lose. Villa, great result for them at the weekend. It's not going to be easy for City. That's for sure. They've got to go. I think they go to Everton next. The third last game at Goodison Park. The way that they're playing at the moment, that's not going to be easy. Every game at Goodison is going to be very, very difficult. Because of the situation of them leaving. City are in real danger. Of missing out on the top 5. So it's going to be that's the only race left, isn't it? Obviously, I know that Liverpool maybe took their foot off the gas after the Arsenal result. They probably thought, actually, we've won the title now. They slipped up, but they're still going to win the title. Arsenal are still going to finish second, or certainly in the top 2. Relegation's pretty much done and dusted now. So all we've got to play for is the Champions League.
Danny, real quick, just on one of your other teams talking about missing out. Leeds are trying their best to throw it away, mate, and I can't have Gabby Bonglahor giving you any more stick. So what's going on? How do we fix this?
Well, bizarrely, I think it was the first season under Bielsa, around about Easter time, they come unstuck. I think it was a game at home to Wigan that they lost. I think sometimes the pressure, and I've said this all along, Leeds and Ellen Road is one of the best places to play football when it's going well. It is one of the best atmosphere is ever. But the pressure and the expectation can get to you when it starts to go the other way. And I think that's 5 or 6 games they've not had a win for now. Yeah. In the league. They're starting to struggle. And of course, they look at that result and think they've missed out big time. Oxford obviously did them a huge favour, beating Sheffield United, game that I was at. So that keeps it tight. I think Easter weekend is going to be very, very pivotal. When you play Friday night, Monday, that's going to be what decides probably the top 2 and who's going to get in it. But just look at what Burnley have done. Everyone criticised Burnley for being a little bit negative at times, but they just grind out results. They're still in there. They've got a chance. Sheffield United maybe just didn't perform. Goalkeeper made some fantastic saves at Oxford, but they slipped up. I don't think anybody would have picked those results at the weekend. So yeah, I'm hoping Leeds get there, but Gabby can bang on what he likes. I just pick any team, Troy. I've got about 10 to pick from, so it doesn't really matter. There's got to be one of them that does well out of that 10.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Danny, thanks very much, mate.
Pleasure, gents.
Top man.
You just taught me that one of my pet peeves is realise is that we talk on the physicality and things like that. Every foul is a card these days. That really irritates me.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.